wasn't going in. They got to get quality of shots improved as well in this matchup.
Texas A&M controlling the opening tip. They're wearing their home white uniforms. It's the black road uniforms for the Buffs. There's Tyrese Radford. They call him Boots, and he led the team with 19 points yesterday, passing the 1,000-point career mark en route to those 19 points. It's going to stay Aggies basketball. Radford again, guarded by Neek Clifford, inserted into the starting lineup. Now the freshman with 2 on the shot clock. And Solomon Washington comes up short. KJ Simpson, the reigning Pac-12 freshman or player of the week, number 2 in black. And the first turnover of the game is charged to the Colorado Buffaloes. There's the starting 5 for the Buffs. The big 2, as you mentioned, Dane, KJ Simpson and Tristan Da Silva. Da Silva had 17 on 8 for 15 shooting against UMass yesterday.
And as a unit, that starting 5 is really going to have to make up for the rebounding presence of Javon Hadley, who's not in the game, because he was a big man that can really clog up space.
There's a good follow from the freshman Solomon Washington, the only freshman in the class for Buzz Williams coming into this season. Da Silva left alone. He could pop that 3, and he does. Soft rims inside the HTC Center in Colorado.
That is a defensive breakdown, because Da Silva is not one of the guys you can leave open for Colorado.
There's the big man. Henry Coleman called for the traveling violation, guarded by the 7-footer, Lawson Lovering.
And Colorado's playing them straight up down low in the post. And I thought one way A&M was able to get some good looks was skipping it out of the post yesterday. Colorado hugging up on the shooters a little bit more than Murray State did.
If things are singing for this Colorado offense, what should we expect?
I think penetration, paint touches off the bounce, and in the post. And I really like them using Da Silva in multiple areas. 23 in black is a guy that can pick and pop. He can play on the perimeter, but you can also post him up against smaller defenders.
But they are playing against a pretty stout Texas A&M defense. What's their calling card defensively?
Well, they bring a lot of help. The Aggies will trap a bunch, and when you get in the lane, don't think the job is done. That's usually when you got to kick it out for one more, because a player is coming over to help and take a charge. Good job there, penetrating under control.
10 on the shot clock for the Buffs. Lovering double team now. Gets it out. KJ Simpson for 3. Off the back iron. Offensive rebound by Lovering. Inside Da Silva. Can't get it to go. And the foul's going to go on 7'2" sophomore Lawson Lovering.
He's a really good passer in there. I mean, twice he found the open man. And rarely do you have somebody that can see over the top of all that Aggie congestion in the lane, but Lovering is one of those guys who can.
Tad Boyle likes the talent on his team. He loves the depth that his team has. It's going to be tested today without Hadley. And we've got a foul close into the basket.
And that's a good look for A&M. When they can push the tempo and get that seal down low and just get that direct pass from 1 to 5, that is a good early shot in the shot clock.
And it's interesting to note Solomon Washington, who is starting for Buzz Williams and has since Jump Street this season, hadn't scored a point despite the fact that he started these games. And yesterday he ended up with 8 against UMass.
Yeah, knocked down a couple threes as well.
Against Murray State on this side. So now he's got 3 in the early going. All 3 points that the Aggies have scored have come from number 13 in white. Buzz likes what he calls OKGs, our kind of guys. High character, high quality, and Solomon Washington, he told us, checks all those boxes.
That kid plays with a lot of enthusiasm and energy on the court.
There's Neek Clifford, 32 in black. Good hands by Washington, but it's going to stay Colorado basketball.
Just a much cleaner start for Texas A&M on both ends of the court. The more efficient their offense can be, the better their defense is. You see them being able to get set in their pressing defense as well as their half court.
Ten to shoot for Colorado. Here's Lovering, putting the ball on the deck. 3 on the clock. Pull up from the baseline, no good for Clifford. Another offensive board for Lovering. Good ball movement by Tad Boyle's club so far. Now 10 to shoot again. Here's Gabadon from the wing. Can't get it to go, an empty possession despite a couple of good looks. Here's Wade Taylor the fourth. Short on the 3 and Gabadon clears. Colorado in transition and Gabadon inserted into the starting lineup. Gets it to go for his first 2. The Yale transfer, number 3 in black.
And you know Colorado watched the tape of Murray State to see what were the Racers successful at, and it was transition offense. A good one there.
Here's Washington doing work early on. Now KJ Simpson. But one more to Clifford in the corner, 3 ball.
Big shot for Clifford. I mean, they've got to have more guys hitting from the perimeter, whether it's Clifford, Gabadon. It can't just be De Silva and Simpson as the threats.
Tyrese Radford went up, got fouled for his efforts, and will go to the line and shoot 2 when we return after our first media timeout. And when we come back, a familiar face to college basketball fans is in the crowd. We'll tell you why Mark Turgeon's in the house when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Find where you belong at the beach. And by Dollar General. Save time, save money every day. And you might ask yourself, what's Turge doing here in Myrtle Beach, owner of 471 career wins? Well, Mark Turgeon played college basketball at Kansas with Tad Boyle, the head coach for Colorado. They've remained very close friends through the years. As a matter of fact, Tad Boyle was making $16,000 a year as a stockbroker and as a high school basketball coach in Colorado when Turge called him and said, come on out to Oregon and be an assistant with me under Jerry Green. Tad Boyle took him up on the offer. The rest is history for both of them. Mark went on, ironically enough, to be the head coach at Texas A&M, one of his number of stops in his head coaching career so far, and they've remained close enough that now Mark Turgeon's son, Will, is a graduate manager on Tad Boyle's Colorado staff.
It's amazing how one phone call can change your life, huh? In the direction. Mark Turgeon also was the coach for Wichita State, who advanced to the Sweet 16 in 2006. Why do I know that so well? Because he beat my team, the Tennessee Vols. I had to look up the box score. He can thank me. I went 1 for 7.
Ouch, man. There's Dexter Dennis with a punch.
And A&M needs more of that. I mean, when they've struggled on the offensive end in the half court, how can they get more live ball turnovers with their aggressive defense to get buckets like that?
Now Julian Hammond and Javon Ruffin coming in for Tad Boyle after that first media timeout. Hammond with the ball, number 1 in black. 10 on the shot clock. This A&M defense suffocates you. And Ruffin knocks down his first shot attempt, a 2-pointer for the freshman Javon Ruffin.
Really good pump fake by Ruffin there as the defender was flying at him, not under control, took advantage.
Here's Anderson Garcia, Mississippi State transfer. And Julius Marble, who came over from Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans to Aggie land.
Simpson's able to get the penetration. He does this so well despite the double team. Just goes around and keeps his head down, under control in the lane. Drive, draw, kick. Nice jump shot there by Ruffin.
Javon Ruffin's dad, Michael, an assistant coach with the Phoenix Suns right now. Played for Tulsa, who also picked up a win yesterday here at Myrtle Beach. Here's Manny Obaseki going strong to the cup and gets fouled. So Obaseki will go to the line and shoot a pair.
Despite the loss, I thought Obaseki did a lot of nice things in yesterday's game. I mean, he's able to get to the hole. He showed his ability to knock down the 3-point shot.
They turn that a non-shooting foul, so it's A&M basketball. Wade Taylor has it. Here's Dennis. Known for his defense, he was the American Conference Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's showing some offense today.
Good job getting it to the other side of the court. I mean, they were slammed on that corner with no rotation, but he penetrates to the opposite side.
Lovering turns it over, picked off by Taylor. A&M a chance for the lead. Here's Marble from close range.
Yesterday, Wade Taylor would have shot that ball in traffic. That time, keeps his head up, makes a nice spoon feed to Marble, who's so efficient down low.
Backdoor cut. Ruffin can't convert, but he gets fouled and will go to the line. And you liked what you saw yesterday offensively from Julius Marble, didn't you?
Yeah, it was just a tough matchup because the racers were kind of that small ball. When you got the bigs, you kind of can get at a disadvantage. And this time, Marble just stays in that area, spaces well, goes up. I mean, he's a 50% shooter down low. He's got a great jump hook to his game, too.
What did Buzz tell us? He's the best back-to-the-basket scorer that they have on this roster. So Javon Ruffin at the line. Knocks down the first free throw. And the second of 2 Ivy League transfers for Tad Boyle checks in for the first time. That's number 14 in black, Ethan Wright, and De Silva back on the floor as well. Both free throws good for the freshman out of New Orleans, Javon Ruffin. And it's a 12-12 game, 6 minutes gone by. Marble top of the key, looking to drive on the smaller De Silva. And a good tap in by Anderson Garcia.
And that's what Garcia can do. He brings offensive rebounding, energy, effort. You don't call a lot of plays for him, but he gets buckets just with his hustle.
Good effort by Hammond to keep that ball in bounds, and then a foul's going to be called on Dexter Dennis.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about whether or not either of these teams will be excited to play today in a consolation. I mean, the energy and effort's been terrific, hasn't it?
I was thinking the same exact thing. Number 2 in white, Hayden Hefner checking on. He's a 3-point specialist for Buzz Williams. And we're going to see KK Robinson for the first time as well, number 1 as Wade Taylor gets his first rest. 3 games in 4 days, you would have to assume both teams are going to go fairly deep in their benches. Ten to shoot for Colorado. Obaseki on Ruffin. Now 5 to shoot. Hammond muscles his way in and nearly throws it away. Deflection by K.K. Robinson.
Without Simpson on the court, who does Colorado have that can create for others? And I'm not sure there is that guy out there. So this should be advantage Aggies if they can lock up and stay disciplined defensively.
2 to shoot for Colorado. De Silva does. And it looked good off his hand, but it's tracked down by Ruffin. A lot of offensive rebounds coming for Colorado, but they can't cash it in. Here's Hefner in the open court. He got met near the rim, and Colorado turns it back the other way. De Silva! And we're going the other way. Offensive foul as Anderson Garcia stepped in and took the charge.
Garcia was just a step ahead of everybody on that play. You talk about seeing things before they happen. Garcia realizes they're in transition and knows that he's going to hit the trailer and just slides right over, steps in there and takes the charge. And terrific play. Maybe more importantly, a foul on one of Colorado's best players.
That's right, 2 fouls now on De Silva, and he's got to find some time on the pine.
If you're Texas A&M, you're hoping you can put together a little 8-0 run here or something. I mean, that's not the look you want. To me, when you've got Simpson and De Silva on the bench, the Aggies need to try to really build a lead in this short time span while both those guys are out.
It's interesting, we just saw Hayden Hefner turn the ball over, but he did it by way of cutting to the rim. We've seen that from him, and he's known as a three-point shooter. Good hands by Hefner, knocking it out of bounds. Such an active Aggies defense.
They are, and once you get by your man, I mean, the help is coming, and the passing lanes are hard to find because they're so long and so active, as you said.
Lovering puts it on the deck. Had the ball deflected again. And the Aggies definitely winning the deflection number right now. Obaseki with the left hand, no. And here comes Julian Hammond. Ethan Wright, triple, knock it down. 3 threes in the early going for the Colorado Buffaloes. They're up by 1, and a chance to add to that now. One more. Wright thought about it. Hammond thinks about it and misses. Offensive rebound again, and that department has gone squarely on the side of the Colorado Buffaloes. We have our second media timeout of the afternoon. Colorado out of the Pac-12 with a 1-point lead on the 24th ranked A&M Aggies.
early shots with one or less pass. I mean, take a look at this contested shot from last night. Deep, early in the shot clock. Not many passes within the offense. And it's guys just kind of taking their turn, whereas when they got settled in and they moved the ball around and got multiple passes, they got better looks. And as a result, their defense got better. Here's a great back cut. Again, just being more patient in the offense, turning one down every now and then as opposed to going 1-on-5. When I look back at yesterday's shot chart, what I call the first shot offense, when it was one pass or less, they were 10 of 30. When it was two passes or more, 12 of 28. And I think what we've seen in the past couple minutes here, Rich, is some of that upper part, the one pass or less, impacting their defense. Obaski goes in twice. Hayden Hefner, no real advantage with the Euro step. And when they don't convert and they shoot early on the offensive end, guess what happens? A Colorado team without their star players gets clean looks in transition. So it's got to be more complementary basketball for Texas A&M.
Yeah, and that's where Murray State killed Texas A&M, is in fast break points. They dominated in that department yesterday. So we're seeing a little bit of a similarity in a not so complimentary way to Texas A&M in the early moments here. There's another three by Ethan Wright, his second triple of the afternoon. 4 threes for Colorado. They had 6 all of yesterday's game.
The zone for the first time from Colorado. I like the look. The Aggies have not proven to be very efficient from 3 yet.
Henry Coleman going strong and banking it in.
And that's what you want, is get it inside. And good sign for Coleman, who's really been quiet. They'd like to get him more touches.
2 points yesterday in that loss to Murray State. And a good hedge by Marble. And Marble's going to pick up the foul, his first. Now De Silva with those 2 fouls comes back on the floor, as will KJ Simpson. So the top 2 scorers for the Buffs are back, with Colorado owning a 2-point lead.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it was 16-12 when both those guys went out. So credit the role players for going on a 6-0 run when you thought, hey, the Aggies might be able to start pulling away a little bit.
And the man with the ball, give him credit. He has those 2 threes of those 6 points. 8 to shoot.
Well, they got him again.
There it is. He doesn't go 3 for 3, but the Buffs almost get another offensive rebound. Yeah, 4 offensive rebounds. I stand corrected. But they're dominating in the offensive rebound category right now.
Colorado mixing things up a little bit. You saw the zone on the previous possession. This time they're going to see if they can't give the Aggies a little taste of their own medicine, showing a little full court pressure here.
It's Radford, 23 in white, guarded by number 2 in black, KJ Simpson. Good hands by Simpson, and it forces the Texas A&M turnover. 2-point lead for the Buffs, with the ball coming up on the halfway point of this first half. And a little bit of extracurriculars from KJ Simpson and KK Robinson, and Robinson gets tagged with the technical foul.
Yeah, gotta be smart in that. Simpson baited him into that one. Robinson was a little frustrated, and he had played really solid defense. Got over the top of the screen, just frustrated that he picked up the foul. Simpson might have said something first, but Robinson, usually it's the second guy that gets caught.
How many times that happened to you as you're playing this?
Yeah. Quite a few. Usually it was me going to somebody else's defense, you know. I was coming in to step up for my guy.
Yeah. Everybody needs a Dane Bradshaw on their team. KJ Simpson had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists against UMass in that loss yesterday. But if you remember back, he had a look to tie the game at the buzzer, and a look prior to that when he got the offensive rebound as well. And both came up short, so KJ Simpson might have a little extra chip on his shoulder coming into this game. Good ball movement by the Buffaloes. Clifford can't knock it down. Another offensive rebound for Colorado. Here's De Silva. What a great pass from the big man.
Well, and a brilliant cut from De Silva. He recognized his big man was in trouble, but he also knows his big man is 7'1" and can see over the top and find him.
4 offensive boards already, and another interception by KJ Simpson.
I mean, they're just telegraphing the pass inside.
Pretty layup by Simpson, his first field goal of the game. He's got 4. The Buffaloes are roaming right now inside the HTC Center. Largest lead of the game for Colorado, 24-16 with 9:15 to go. Looking to bounce back in Myrtle Beach. We are seeing the good Colorado right now.
No question about it. I think it's been a team effort. Yes, the stars have played well, but the role players have stepped up, the big man, and I think Tad Boyle's done a nice job of confusing this Texas A&M team and not letting them be so run and gun. I think this press and zone has really caused Texas A&M to kind of have to think the game a little bit more than they're accustomed to.
And with the Aggies on the struggle bus right now, Buzz Williams going deep to his bench. Javonte Brown, a 7-foot sophomore out of Toronto, seeing his first action here at the Myrtle Beach Invitational.
He's got to be smarter on this end. It's the old adage of fake a pass to make a pass. I mean, you can't just stare down your guy.
Taylor, open look. Can't get it to go. Big rebound from Dexter Dennis. And the foul's going to go on the Buffaloes. That's Tristan De Silva, and that is not what Tad Boyle wants to see. His big man, De Silva, the 6'9" junior, preseason second team All Pac-12 now, will probably ride the pine the rest of this first half with his 3rd foul.
And I'm usually a fan of playing guys with 2. I mean, you can't take them with you, but at this point, he's got no choice. Put him on the bench. The good news is the guys have been able to step up without him. Let's not forget Javon Hadley, a guy that can get you a double-double night in, night out this game for Colorado.
And Kelly Pfeiffer, right on the call at the baseline, says it's going to be Colorado basketball.
Well, if A&M wants to get their offense going, they got to get some stops on this end of the court. And whether that's live ball turnovers or collecting the defensive rebound, they are not keeping Colorado to one and done. And the half-court offense has not treated the Aggies well.
4 offensive rebounds so far for Colorado. They'll need one after that miss by Gabadon. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay Buffalo's basketball.
And that's just another example. They play pretty good defense. They force a tough 2, but you've got to get in there with 2 hands, grab the defensive rebound so you can get off to the races.
That's Andre Gordon, number 20 in white, backup point guard for Buzz Williams. Now Buzz taking his spot in the corner behind the basket. A big 3 and the 5th one of the afternoon for the Buffaloes. KJ Simpson with a block at the other end. They're going to get him for the foul.
Well, credit Texas A&M getting the ball out of the basket, pushing even on a make. But the defensive breakdown prior to that, you can't leave Simpson, and that is one of the trade-offs. When you know there's going to be a lot of help, oftentimes the Aggies might sink a little bit on that help side. If you can skip it around fast enough, you should have shooters.
Again, only 6 threes made yesterday against the UMass Minutemen, but Colorado has come out firing. No conscience from these shooters. They've made 5 already in the first half against a good Texas A&M defense.
That's where Radford is so good. I mean, he attacks the basket, and he does so confidently because he wants to get to the free throw line. A lot of guys shy away from contact, but when you're connecting at a clip the way he is, I believe that's 21 of 23 on the year now.
Yeah.
He'll be happy to get fouled.
14 for 14 in this tournament alone from the free throw line. There's Luke O'Brien. Some extra offense from the reserves. Taylor. Surrounded by black jerseys. There's some of that ball movement you're looking for, Dane, and it pays off.
You know what? And that all starts with Wade Taylor turning one down, getting in the lane, and then just being disciplined and not throwing up a jump shot, but letting the offense have a chance to keep working.
Eight-point Colorado lead, and they're going to get an offensive foul. And it looks like it's going to go on the big man, Lawson Lover.
Again, Wade Taylor, the young point guard, just a sophomore, but learning quickly after yesterday's disappointing performance. He's able to get in the lane here and says, wait, let's not force a bad shot. Swing it around, and what happens? The defense has to work longer in the shot clock. Open three, Andre Gordon says, I got this. We're not dead yet. Aggies holding tough.
#4 Kentucky, #2 Gonzaga. Sunday at 7:30 on ESPN.
Well, that will be a fun one coming up on Sunday. There have been a number of great games and a number of big upsets already in college basketball. UK put up a hunch on South Carolina State last night, 106 to be exact, but it's all part of Feast Week, starting November 16th and going all the way to November 27th. 12 days, over 120 games across ABC, ESPN, The Deuce, ESPNU, and ESPN News. And, of course, you could catch them all on the app as well.
I've seen Kentucky several times in the preseason, part of the Big Blue Madness. That was without Oscar Tshiebwe, and man, they are just a different team when he's on the court. Evidenced by when he fouled out of that game against Michigan State in overtime. And the Wildcats just have to have other guys that can step up, maybe get Antonio Reeves, who's a really good shooter and scorer for him. But C.J. Frederick playing well in that role right now.
People are saying this is one of the oldest teams that John Calipari has. Does that necessarily equate to a Final Four caliber Kentucky team?
Yes, it does. But even last year they were older. They just they had to stay healthy, and then got upset, of course, to St. Peter's. So everybody thinks they got the pieces, and then March happens.
3 by Taylor. Off the mark. Here's KJ Simpson. He's got the hottest hand of anybody, leading all scorers with 9 so far. Here's the double team, and he gets out of it. O'Brien, aggressive, and 1. And he's down. A hard fall by Luke O'Brien, but what a take to the dish.
Well, for the young kids at home, if you get trapped, handle it the way KJ Simpson does. I mean, yes, he gets caught picking up the dribble, but he splits the trap. And then Andre Gordon just got to guard the ball. Stay in front of your man. You shouldn't require that help. Assume that the help is not coming if you're A&M, and guard the ball where some of these defensive breakdowns are happening.
Tad Boyle was telling us 0 and black. Luke O'Brien had the best summer off-season shooting-wise of anybody on this Colorado team, but if he's doing moves like that, I think he's going to say, take it to the rim, Luke.
No, A&M sitting around there saying, wait, this wasn't the scouting report. Like, that dude's a shooter, and how is he making shots over our 7-footer down low?
Dexter Dennis too strong on the 3. And Colorado comes away with it. Another 1 and done for the Aggies.
This zone really helps Colorado keep A&M off the free throw line as well.
I mean, the ball is singing on offense for Colorado. Radford rolls off. Taylor tracks it down, goes right at the defense, and gets the foul. Well, when your jump shot's not falling, most coaches will say, go to the rim.
A good attack there by Wade Taylor on the extra opportunity here. Nice try for the Chargers. Couldn't get there in time. Unable to finish.
So Wade Taylor stepped to the free throw line. 17 for 20 from the stripe on the season. Had 16 points against Murray State, but only 1 for 8 from 3. Hey, a reminder, it's not just the men's game. We've got the women's basketball game of the day coming up on Sunday. Aaliyah Boston and number 1 South Carolina taking on Haley Jones and number 2 Stanford in Maples Pavilion. Coverage beginning at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app.
Rich, one thing I think Buzz Williams and his staff are learning early in this season, yes, they have a lot of depth, but what players mix best together? And that's something you really can't find out until you play some of the better competition like they've seen these last couple of days.
Chemistry.
Right?
And this time Wade Taylor gets whistled for the offensive foul. Jalen Gabadon getting both feet planted.
Well, he was a star defender in the Ivy League, and that time he saw it coming well before it actually happened. 3 and black, able to hang in there and take the charge.
Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year in the 2019-2020 season. A 2-time captain for the Yale Bulldogs. And Tad Boyle was effusive in his praise, not only of Gabadon, but also the other Ivy League transfer from Princeton, Ethan Wright, saying they are the ultimate culture guys. All they want to do is win.
Yeah, and I asked Coach Boyle, I said, how does it work when you have all these alpha males? Like a guy's on a captain on one team, and then you already have your existing captain. How do they mesh? He said, look, Gabadon will play whatever role you want him to. And you can tell that has trickled down throughout this Colorado team as all of these role players playing better than expected.
And Les Jones calls the foul on Colorado, but it has been all Colorado in the first 15 minutes. 4:46 to go, a 15-point lead on number 24 Texas A&M. And Dane, despite the loss yesterday, and it wasn't a great loss to UMass, this team, these Buffaloes have a chance to end this week with 2 wins against top 25 teams. Solomon Washington at the line, shooting 2. And he misses the first. Well, our Statement Saturday college football lineup jam-packed as you would expect at noon Eastern on ABC. Number 3, Michigan hosting Illinois, followed by number 2, Ohio State taking on Maryland. Then 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Number 9, Clemson hosts Miami, followed by number 5, Tennessee on the road at South Carolina. Games also available on the ESPN app. I would ask you if you think the Tennessee Volunteers are worthy of being in the college football playoffs. I think I know your answer.
Of course. you can't take any other one-loss team ahead of Tennessee or a two-loss team. I don't care about anybody's conference championships, baby. SEC. I tell you, this A&M team's got to figure it out defensively. I mean, this is 2 bad defensive halves in a row. When you go back to the second half against Murray State yesterday, they gave up 57% from the field, including 62% from 3. And that's similar to what we're seeing right now with Colorado. And again, I think you got to take more pride on your one-on-one defense because guys are driving on A&M to pass, not to score. They are anticipating that help, and you got guys ready in that catch-and-stick position.
And how about for Colorado? Next man up, Javon Hadley out with a shoulder. Number 11, Javon Ruffin stepping in. He's got 9 points, averaging 4.3 a game in his first 4 games of the season. He's already stepping into that role. Good hands by Gavadon, almost turned it over. Gordon, skip pass. Here's Dennis with 5 on the shot clock. Nice take by Dexter Dennis. Now some pressure from the Aggies. Handled easily by Colorado. Ruffin. Nearly picked off, leaves Gavadon wide open for 3.
Old school fundamentals. Luke O'Brien met his pass not once but twice in that possession. It would have been a pick 6 type play for the Aggies. Instead, a triple for the Buffaloes.
Spin move, Washington. That ball goes out of bounds and it'll be Colorado basketball. Again, Aggies getting opportunities close to the rim but just not converting.
And on the other end, Colorado, it's a thing of beauty offensively right now. Take a look at Luke O'Brien. As soon as the Aggies think they have a turnover, no, sir, he mossed them on the pass and then found his shooter. Buffalo's rolling in the first half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays. 7.
Yeah, being very opportunistic, penetrate, pitch. A&M is going to sink on that penetration, so you have to be ready to capitalize on the perimeter. Colorado, half of their made shots have been from deep, shooting at an almost 50% clip.
Yeah, 47% for 3, 54% overall, and they're a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. And what's more is they're shooting it from the outside well, Dane. They're also doing a good job interior-wise. They have 7 offensive rebounds that have led to 10 second chance points.
I mean, is anything going to go as we expected at this tournament? I mean, if you would have told me this morning, hey, I think by halftime, Colorado's going to be on their way to putting up 100 on the Aggies, I would have said you're crazy, but here they are.
What do our college game day brethren like to say? College basketball, expect the unexpected. Right now it's a 17-point Colorado lead. Make it a 20-point cushion with that three-pointer by KJ Simpson, his second of the afternoon.
And Tad Boyle's over there looking at his bench like, hey, Tristan DeSilva, you got 3? No problem. I mean, they're doing this with all of their role players stepping up.
Here's Obaseki. Got fouled at close range, and Manny Obaseki will go to the line and shoot a pair.
This zone has really bothered Texas A&M. It's gotten them completely out of rhythm on the offensive end. So, again, the only way they're going to beat this Colorado zone is by beating it up the floor, which starts with a defensive stop.
Manny Obaseki, a sophomore out of Allen, Texas. Started the last 13 games of the year last year, averaged 10 points a game. Coming off the bench to start this season. And the left-hander knocks down both. Still an 18-point cushion for the Colorado Buffaloes, looking to bounce back after a first-round loss to Frank Martin's UMass Minutemen. 2.5 to go in the first half. The one more, and it works again. Nick Clifford's first points of the afternoon.
And when coaches say don't let the ball stick, that's exactly what that looks like. When it touches your hands in a half a second, pass, shoot, dribble. The quick decision-making by Colorado has caught the Aggies off guard.
Pardon me, that was Nick Clifford's second 3 of the afternoon. Obaseki can't answer.
Look how quick Simpson gets the ball out of his hands. They penetrate kick. Simpson doesn't even hold it for a second. Boom, boom. And that's how you get the defense scrambling.
Gabadon got into the paint, got fouled. Colorado shooting 2 free throws. Both teams in the bonus plus. Well, you might ask yourself, how did Jalen Gabadon, a Yale grad, end up at Colorado in Boulder? And the answer is simple. He's an entrepreneur. Of course he is. He went to Colorado to join up with a former Yale teammate and work on a fitness app. So while he was out there, he was looking for some run and found some with some Colorado Buffaloes. Next thing you know, Tad Boyle makes his acquaintance, and the rest is history.
I love it. I got to think Tad Boyle has that downloaded on his phone. At the very least, it's the most you can do is subscribe for the kid, right?
Show some support. So Gabadon goes 1 for 2. It's a 49-27 Colorado lead over 24th ranked Texas A&M. A minute and a half left. There's a 3 from Eric Pratt. First time we're seeing him this invitational.
You'll take it any way you can get it right now because this has been a shocking first half.
Dominated beyond the arc and on the boards by the Colorado Buffaloes. Simpson to the rim. And what a half for KJ Simpson. 14 points to lead all scorers.
Again, what a skip pass and a quick rip through baseline. So decisive.
Obaseki can't follow his own miss. Ethan Wright wants more, and he's got him. Third three of the game for Ethan Wright, the Princeton transfer.
And Buzz Williams just can't get to halftime locker room quick enough.
Andre Gordon answers with a corner three.
That'll help. At this point, you're just trying to keep this thing at 20 to be able to set some goals of getting it to single digits after halftime. But make no mistake about it, his message to his team will not be about offense. It'll be about the defensive end.
Last shot time for the Buffs. KJ Simpson has the ball. 5 seconds to go. And he just forces it up, and you're almost surprised that that one didn't go in. That's the kind of first half it was for the Colorado Buffaloes, who shoot 10 from 18 from three-point.
I don't look at that as a good thing. I mean, they need to find 5 to 6 to 7 at most guys in this second half and say, here's who we're going with, and we're going to mount a historic comeback here in Myrtle Beach.
Well, Buzz Williams changed his attire a little bit. He's now wearing the short sleeve golf shirt. Trying to bring some mojo to this Texas A&M club that needs it in a big way. So Colorado's going to start off with the basketball. They're wearing their black road uniforms. Lost yesterday to UMass, but dominant in this first half against the 24th ranked Aggies. And there's a near steal by Solomon Washington. Clifford tried to leave it for Lovering. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay Buffs basketball. Tad Boyle telling us this team does well when the ball goes through Lawson Lovering on offense. Might not quite be there yet in his maturation process. There's Lovering with the assist.
Again, really good passing. Simpson penetrates under control, and Lovering so patient when he gets the ball, and of course has such good vision when you're over 7 feet. Keeps it high, finds the shooter. Not what you want to see if you're Texas A&M out of the gates.
Here's Henry Coleman muscling his way to the rim and coming up empty. Washington the rebound, but again, good looks. Never an easy basket for A&M.
Yeah, they've taken some tough contested twos. That one you just got to finish. I will say this, I like the body language, the activity, the communication I've seen in the first couple possessions from Texas A&M. But it's just going to be a repeat of the first half if they can't move and close out better on the defensive end.
And Colorado put up 54, mostly without Tristan Da Silva, their top returning scorer this year. And they're probably going to have to play most of the rest of this game. He just got saddled with his 4th foul.
Tough break for Buffalo.
Washington knocks down the first. So now Luke O'Brien, who had a productive first half with 5 points, will check in. He'll get some more burn this second half with Da Silva in foul trouble. Solomon Washington. Coming from the 9th Ward in New Orleans. Buzz Williams loves his upside. Said he came from nothing. His entire neighborhood decimated by Hurricane Katrina. He actually starts 3 players who are from the New Orleans area, from New Orleans in the Louisiana area. Dexter Dennis is another one of those, Tyrese Radford the third. They said Solomon Washington calls them both Unc, as an uncle, like he looks up to them like family members.
Well, with that type of background, adversity is something you're prepared for, and so this is just an on-the-court adversity. Those guys are tough enough to handle it. The quality of play is just going to have to pick up.
Simpson goes inside to Lovering, who faces up Coleman. Good hands by Coleman, but Clifford is Johnny on the spot. And Nick Clifford has 8.
They've been a step quicker to those sort of 50-50 balls. When there's a deflection, it seems like Colorado is able to get it and anticipate where it's going sooner than the Aggies.
Easier said than done, but if you're Buzz Williams and your team's down as much as they are, what do you tell your team? How do you chip away at a lead like this?
I think they got to do it together. And right now, when I look at Texas A&M, one big weakness I see is who of the Aggies makes somebody else on their team better. And that doesn't mean they're not a lot of good players. Good shot by Washington, who's starting to heat up from three. He hit two of them yesterday. But instead of worrying about yourself and saying, hey, I'm going to put the team on my back, let's do it together. Move the ball.
Nice take by Luke O'Brien. Seven for O'Brien. It's a 61-38 Colorado lead.
And that's not the first time that they have thrown the ball right to Colorado trying to pass in the middle of the zone. I mean, again, fake a pass, make a pass, or swing it somewhere else.
Simpson all the way to the hole. It's been a great afternoon already for KJ Simpson with 16.
And you're starting to see what Colorado actually did to Tennessee as well. The Volunteers struggled to guard the Buffaloes off the ball, on the ball, excuse me. And the Aggies got to sit down and just guard their man one-on-one.
Simpson with the steal.
Twice in a row for Dennis. I mean, it's just not there.
Now KJ Simpson again. Hot hand, number 2 in black.
And you've already got 5 new players at the scores table for Buzz Williams, so certainly not the answer he wanted to see from this starting 5. He already went 13 deep in the first half. And we're going to find out real quick who the leader is for Texas A&M with this type of deficit, but the story is the Colorado Buffaloes. You talk about not getting complacent, being mature with a lead. KJ Simpson getting it done with the Colorado Buffaloes, trying to bury the Aggies early in this second half.
Game Track is brought to you by Visit Myrtle Beach. And to steal that Jekyll and Hyde cliche, Dane Bradshaw, yesterday, 6 for 25 from 3 and only 4 fast break points against the Minutemen. Today, a completely different story.
Yeah, who is this team? Coming into the tournament, they lost at Grambling State. And then what do? Less than 48 hours later, they knock off Tennessee. UMass was a hard-fought game, but you're seeing just how good this Colorado team can be, even without some of their star power, with Da Silva on the bench with his foul trouble. Hadley injured for this game. Next man up mentality for the Buffaloes.
No doubt. And it's next men up for Buzz Williams. A line change, 5 new players on the floor. KK Robinson handling the point guard duties, number 1 in white. That's Andre Gordon, number 20, who throws it away into the hands of Simpson. Simpson with the pull-up. Man, is he silky smooth.
He's just working them, yeah. And a lot of it is 2-foot finishes. He gets in there under control, rarely floats. You don't see him charge very often.
He's bouncy. He's got a nice touch inside and outside. Quick feet.
And A&M is just putting their shoulder down and going right away. I'm not sure they're playing with as much purpose as you'd like them to on the offensive end. Yes, you're down big, but it can't just be one pass and taking turns putting your shoulder down.
Marble misses the first. You see Buzz Williams standing there in the corner by the baseline where his team's bench is. We were laughing at his shoot-around. He plays Commodore's Pandora Station only. So it's Yacht Rock Radio, if y'all know what that is. I think they might have to switch it up at some point.
Well, he changed shirts at halftime for good luck. He might need to change playlists too.
He said that's the only thing. When I step on the floor or when I'm shooting with the team, the only thing we listen to is Yacht Rock.
And let me tell you something. They're down 30, but if you don't think this Aggie team takes preparation seriously, we've seen the shoot-arounds.
Yeah.
It's one of the best shoot-arounds we've been around.
High
you talk about
energy,
being
enthusiasm,
organized,
absolutely.
and no stone unturned. But right now, this is just a new team searching for answers and trying to find the right mix of guys.
Right now, it's Colorado's time to shine in Myrtle Beach. Buzz Williams searching for answers. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. It's the best place to get everything you need for the holidays. He is a stat sheet stuffer, Dane Bradshaw.
Yeah, this sophomore out of West Hills, California, was born to score. Out of high school, is the all-time leading scorer with over 2,000 points at Chaminade. And here he is on the big stage, just putting in work against a high-quality SEC team. Not once, but twice has he taken on an SEC opponent. You see what he did against Tennessee. Was still effective against UMass, just not his best night shooting the ball. But today, all over the court.
Yeah, had 13 points against UMass, which doesn't jump off the screen. Then you factor in the fact that he had 7 rebounds and 6 assists against a really stingy Frank Martin defense at UMass. And then today, 21 points, that pops. But he also has 5 steals.
And I think it also shows the importance of just having that quarterback on your team. And we saw UMass yesterday with Fernandez. I mean, clear-cut leader at the point guard spot. You have a clear-cut leader for the Buffaloes. Right now for the Aggies, they don't have that on the offensive end. I mean, they've rotated about 4 different guys at the point guard spot. Not the only answer Buzz Williams is searching for, but to me, one of the most critical ones.
There's a nice feed inside, Hefner to Marble. Who do you think that guy could be? I mean, Radford, Taylor, those names come to mind. Who do you think
I'd like
it can
to see it be Wade Taylor with Radford off the ball, but the decision making is going to have to be better.
That's a foul off the ball on A&M. It'll stay Colorado basketball.
As you look at this, though, I mean, this is an A&M team that if you think Buzz Williams has lost his team or anything like that, think again, was it last year what they lost 8 of 9 in January before putting together that huge run.
Yeah.
And right on the cusp of making the NCAA tournament, one of the first teams left out.
Epic.
So they know how to make adjustments and respond during the course of the season.
Went all the way to the SEC championship game before losing to Tennessee, and they thought that was enough to punch their ticket to the big dance.
And that's one you just got to finish there. Nice drive, good opportunity at the rim. What a pass.
KJ Simpson.
You talk about getting in the lane with your head up and a brilliant cut along the baseline.
That's the 3rd assist for Simpson. He is doing everything.
Look at the movement without the ball. First is the penetration of Simpson. They just can't keep him out of the paint no matter who is on him, and then he just realizes rough and cutting. But he looks off the defense. He doesn't stare down his teammate. He looks it off, then finds him at the last minute.
And now what a luxury. 3 games in 4 days. Tad Boyle could take a deep breath and sit his superstar Simpson.
Yeah.
Buffs up 30. Short on that 3 attempt is Julian Hammond. Here's Pratt. Andre Gordon short on that 3-ball attempt, and it will be Colorado basketball. Well, we've talked about these MTEs, these multi-team events, Dan. The good news is you get 3 games in 4 days. The bad news is if you lose those first 2 games, like Texas A&M is on the brink of doing, you're looking at 0-3 in a 4-day span.
Yeah, and you've got to be excited to play even when you're on that last day. And I think that's the biggest challenge is when you're in a loser's bracket, unlike at home, if you lose a game, you're ready to go on to the next game and you recognize the importance of it. But mentally, when you're in a tournament and you see loser's bracket consolation, sometimes you can be a little bit more defeated than you normally would after a loss. So it takes some great mental toughness and leadership from the top.
Hammond tries again for 3.
Again, though, a good open look for Colorado. And if you're A&M, if you're going to help on the drive, it goes back to seeing man and ball. A lot of times they get caught ball watching, and they turn their back to their primary player, and leading to way too many open looks.
And look, again, I don't want to be a Pollyanna about this. The Aggies don't look good right now, but this is year 4 of the Buzz Williams regime, the Buzz Williams era. And if there's anything we've learned with the past being a history lesson, Buzz has success in year 4.
Yep.
At Marquette, his first major head coaching job, year 4, they went all the way to the Sweet 16 back in 2012. Same thing at Virginia Tech, took the Hokies to the NCAA tournament back in 2018. So you would have to assume, or at least expect, that the Aggies, when the day is done, will be challenging for an NCAA tournament bid.
Yeah, and I do think right now that they're going to have a lot of soul searching to do, not only in this game but after this tournament. And really nobody's starting spot or spot in the rotation should be assumed. And it's not like you're going back to the drawing board altogether, but you got to figure out which guys can play best together and the hardest for the most extended periods of time.
Yeah, and listen, they've scheduled fairly tough. I think Buzz, knowing what he knows about the competition or the NCAA tournament committee, they're going to be playing SMU, they're playing Boise State, they're at Memphis, and then obviously the gauntlet starts in the SEC on January 4th. They're on the road in Gainesville at University of Florida. And listen, at the end of the day, you know Kentucky's going to be there. You know Auburn and Alabama and certainly Tennessee are going to be there. But who after that is going to challenge for one of those bids?
Yeah, Florida's a team, and they dropped one to Florida Atlantic, but Florida's a team under Todd Golden and superstar Colin Castleton you think of, and A&M was certainly on that list as well. So, but right now, you know, the Colorado Buffaloes, who, less than a week ago, lose that game to Grambling State, and you think, well, you can forget about them being a postseason team. Now all of a sudden you start seeing their resume and their quality wins. You got to start looking at them differently.
Ethan Wright has 3 threes, make it 4.
Way to be ready on the catch. I mean, that ball never got below his waist. He caught it right in that shooting pocket and let it rip.
Julius Marble doing some work in the second half, maybe the lone bright spot in the second half for Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's the trade-off when you play zone like Colorado did, as it becomes a little bit tougher to rebound out of that zone. That was really a storyline, I thought, in the first half, was Tad Boyle switched to that zone midway through the first half, and that got A&M even more out of rhythm as they got stagnant offensively. Really nice strategy by Coach Boyle.
Hefner off the mark, Ruffin clears. Here's Hammond. And a foul in transition. Well, you talked about Ethan Wright being ready on the catch. He has been that all afternoon today.
Yeah, you need other guys to step up. Ethan Wright says, hey, how about 4 triples for you, Coach? 14 on fire at the Myrtle Beach Invitational.
Doing on Sunday, it's the basketball game of the day. First ever meeting between number 4 Kentucky and number 2 Gonzaga. Shibwe, Timmy, and all the stars will be in Spokane for that one. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN and the app. Talked about Ethan Wright as we went to break. He's a Princeton transfer, now pursuing his master's degree at Colorado, and his dad went to Yale, so we know he's got the smarts. But his basketball skills, I think we could give the nod to Mom. Ellen DeVoe, Ethan Wright's mom, went to Princeton from 1982 to 1986, and when she graduated, she was the 2nd all-time leading scorer for the Lady Tigers.
All credit always goes to Mom.
That's right.
And this time even more so.
The other Ivy League transfer, Jalen Gabadon, off the mark on that 3. Everyone playing well today for Tad Boyle and the Buffaloes. Here's Marble. The foul is going to be on Gabadon, and he looks a little banged up on the deck. And right away, Nick Clifford gets set to check back in.
It's a small thing, but I've really liked the energy and attitude that Marble has shown for the Aggies. Just, again, it's the little things. He's high-fiving his teammates. He's picking them up. Even when they headed to the locker room at halftime, he was the one guy I saw talking on the way back in a positive manner. So I like the vocal leadership we've seen from 34 and White.
He was held to just 2 points in the first half, but he's got 6 in the second half, 8 total for Julius Marble. 73-44 beat down so far for the Pac-12's Colorado Buffaloes. Look at the passing, and Lovering takes a big shot as he hits the deck. It always looks worse, even though he has smaller space to fall.
But Rich, here's another example. I mean, look at A&M going to get caught on the ball watching. Hefner doesn't see where his man is behind him, and it just ends up being 10 eyeballs on the guy with the ball. You have to see man and ball so that you can be midline and help and recover.
So Lawson Lovering at the line, the 7'1" sophomore out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Tad Boyle knows that he's still somewhat of a project, but he feels like good things happen when Lovering touches the ball, and he doesn't necessarily have to score 10, 15 points a game. He could affect the game in other ways.
Yeah, and Tad Boyle, when they had that loss to Grambling State, and he somewhat jokingly said, hey, we're going to start 5 against Tennessee because the rules say we have to have 5 guys on the court, but I don't have 5 guys that deserve to start. He said one guy he was not talking about was Lovering. He said he's always in the right place on defense, just doing the grading out extremely well offensively and defensively. This is a guy that missed the final 15 games last year with a knee injury, so he's still coming into his own, but does so much more than just be a rim protector. His court vision has impressed me as much as anything.
Second highest rated prospect in modern program history for Tad Boyle with Colorado. Washington off the mark. Offensive rebound, Garcia, but he lost it. Still Aggies ball. Hefner with the pull-up. Now some pressure from A&M. Here's Hammond, leaves it off for the 7-footer. Back out to Ruffin for 3. Got it.
Well, if I'm Coach Buzz Williams, and he's been around this game and coached way more than I ever have, but right now the opponent has figured out the double teams and how to get out of those traps, and they have the defense scrambling. I think you can maybe go more traditional man-to-man and maybe don't help quite as much on the penetration or the dump-down passes with the traps.
And a traveling violation called on Eric Pratt. That'll be another Texas A&M turnover, their 10th of the afternoon. You know, Dane, going back to, we talked about Lawson Lovering, how he was the second highest prospect that Tad Boyle has recruited to come to Colorado. The news just keeps getting better for this Buffaloes program.
Yeah, how about the first 5-star prospect signed by Tad Boyle at Colorado, Cody Williams, younger brother of Jalen Williams with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Out of Perry High School. Just an absolute stud that with guys like Simpson and this core group that you see right now, Pac-12 is thinking, oh boy, that's the last thing we wanted to see on Coach Boyle team.
Yeah, and they had a freshman class last year, headlined, of course, by KJ Simpson, that he was really excited about. Maybe his best recruiting class that he brought in, and yet they were decimated by injuries. Simpson was really the only one that got a lot of playing time, and you can see why from his performance today. Clifford, offensive rebound, put back, and one.
Really impressed with Colorado, how they have not taken their foot off the gas at all. Usually you get complacent in a game like this, and they continue to win the 50-50 balls and be the more energetic and excited team to play. If you didn't have the scoreboard on, you would look out there and say, hey, it's the team in black down 8 trying to get back in. Yet they're the team with the 33-point lead.
Still engaged defensively. KK Robinson showing his quickness. Well, the lead is 31, still 9 minutes to go, so a lot of basketball yet to be played. Buzz Williams' worst loss at Texas A&M was a 30-point loss 2 years ago against Gonzaga. They lost that game 79-49. You got to go all the way back to his Marquette days when Buzz and the Golden Eagles lost at Florida by 33. That was back in 2014. Right now, they're down 31. Anderson Garcia picks up his 5th foul, so he's done for the day. And now Julius Marble checking back in, who's been ostensibly the best player for the Aggies in this contest.
I'm sure some of the guys on the court for Texas A&M could use a breather, but it appears to me that Coach Buzz Williams is making a statement to that first 5 that started the second half and saying, you don't deserve to play. I mean, we put you out there to set the tone in the second half, to start a comeback, and the complete opposite happened. Be interested to see if he rotates any of those guys in these final 9 minutes.
You can see by the looks on their faces, by the body language on the bench at A&M. Marble, again, nice cut, nice pass. Julius Marble in double digits.
And Solomon Washington is a really good big-to-big passer, especially for a freshman. I think he's got a nice feel when he gets the ball in the interior.
Lovering. Look at the ball movement from the Buffaloes. Can't cash it in that time. Marble had it blocked. Hefner for 3, got it. Now it seems like they're making an effort to work the offense through Lovering. He gave it up there. Robinson, left hand, nice drive by KK Robinson, the Arkansas transfer.
He was a heck of an athlete, isn't he? I mean, he just chiseled. You see those legs on him. If I'm picking somebody on this court to win a race, I'm picking one in white.
Went to famed Oak Hill Academy, where Buzz recruited him out of high school to go to Virginia Tech. And now they're reunited in Aggieland in College Station. An 80-55 lead for Colorado over 24th ranked Texas A&M. Stay tuned. Much more from the Myrtle Beach Invitational coming up. The semifinals on the way on ESPN2. Fernandez, 22 points to lead an upset for the Minutemen over Colorado. Then Murray State's Jacoby Wood put in 23 in their upset win. And look at this performance from Charlotte moving on to the semifinals. And then Tulsa was the underdog against Loyola Chicago. Not an underdog anymore. They took down the Ramblers.
Yeah, some great team performances as well as individual performances. I'm with you. I'm glad I'm not a betting man because I would have been an 0 yesterday. Inspired play led by these guys. We'll be seeing Fernandez and his teammate Luis, Jacoby Wood and company here shortly as they look to advance. And really coming into it, this matchup we have in front of us, Colorado, Texas A&M, is what we thought would be the semifinal.
No doubt. Washington and Marble, the two bright spots today for Buzz Williams and the Texas A&M Aggies. Washington with 11.
And Rich, going back to those day one stars, interesting storyline. You've got year one coaches for Murray State. Steve Prohm has returned to Murray State, and of course Frank Martin at UMass, the former South Carolina coach. So what one of these tournament victories could do for a new program. Great opportunity for them both.
Yeah. Steve Prohm took a year to decide where he's going to go next. Frank Martin took, what, 11 days? Yeah. Is that what you said?
That's right. Yep.
We'll see that coming up on ESPN2 following this game. Washington out of control and comes down hard, grabbing his left arm. The officials stop play as Solomon Washington has not gotten up off the deck yet.
Well, he went in aggressively, got in the air, and was trying so hard to avoid the charge.
Trainer Eddie Benyon is out there attending to Solomon Washington, and it looks like he's paying attention to his lower back. And you can see he's grabbing his ribs on his right side, and he is in visible pain.
Just a hard fall there. My hat's off to this freshman, Solomon Washington. And, in a game like this, where Coach Williams is sending a message to his team that the guys that are going to play hard, play together, will be in the game. And for your freshman to be one of those guys to set the good example, speaks volumes of 13.
12 points, leads all A&M scorers, and he's on his way to the locker room, adding injury to insult in what is a 82-57 Texas A&M deficit. De Silva back on the court. He's been on the bench most of the game, saddled with foul trouble. He has 4 fouls, but back on the floor with under 6.5 to go. Try to keep him fresh before the day off tomorrow. Here's Marble, full steam ahead. Hefner. And KJ Simpson, another rebound. That's his 6th board of the afternoon to go along with 21 points. This Colorado team came into the Pac-12 season, or this regular season, I should say, preseason ranked number 6 in the Pac-12. And I don't know if you consider that fair or not, but the Pac-12's had some tough losses to start the season. Last night, however, Arizona State took down number 20 Michigan, so all of a sudden things starting to look a little brighter for the Pac-12.
The way the Colorado season has gone, I'd say that's fair, because at times they've looked like the best in the Pac-12, and then on other nights maybe towards the bottom. But I think what we've seen today is more about who they are. Quick compliment to Wade Taylor. I mean, we've been critical of the Aggies, but we're 4 and white at the free throw line. He's benched for most of the second half. Had to come in after Washington went out with the injury, and he came in ready to play immediately. Got the deflection, dove on the floor, got himself to the free throw line, playing with the right attitude despite the circumstances.
The key in what you just said there for Buzz Williams, dove on the floor.
Yep.
You need to see that effort, that energy, if you want to help this team down the road. Just to put a bow on that Pac-12 conversation, UCLA against Illinois tonight. That should be a good one.
Yeah.
Hayden Hefner whistled for his 2nd foul, and that'll send Tristan De Silva to the line. Double bonus for the Buffaloes the rest of the way. And he gets the first. Sunday, we have the women's basketball game of the day coming up. Aaliyah Boston and number 1 South Carolina taking on Haley Jones and number 2 Stanford in Maples Pavilion. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. One of the things you got to love about women's college basketball these last few years, parity has come back into play. It used to be UConn and everyone else, or UConn and Tennessee and everyone else. Now South Carolina is really at the top of the heap, but there are a number of really good programs.
and great road environments too, or home court environments, I should say, across the country. But you're right. I was fortunate to play at Tennessee when Pat Summitt was still coaching the Lady Vols, but that's exactly what it was. It was UConn, Tennessee, and there wasn't really that many other interesting stories. And now the parity is there.
KJ Simpson's 4th triple of the afternoon gives him 24, and that's a new career high for KJ Simpson.
But see, even that with A&M, where it's not all just we got to play harder. Like there's some defensive breakdowns and strategies that they got to assess on this end of the court, to where they got to go back and say, all right, how are we giving this many threes or open threes? And it's not just because the effort wasn't there. And that's where Buzz Williams and his staff will go back to the drawing board and say, all right, here's some adjustments we have to make to be the elite defensive team we know we can be.
15 three-pointers today for the Colorado Buffaloes. They had only 6 yesterday against UMass. And again, more than anything, Buzz Williams trying to, it's almost like practice during a game right now. We're not going to quit. We're not going to sit back on our haunches and let Colorado bring the ball up. We're going to show some full court press and work on that so that we're better the next time out. Now Dexter Dennis gets back on the floor. It's been a long time on the bench for Dennis.
Dennis is a guy that could really be one of your leaders defensively, given what he was able to do at Wichita State. And he can help bring that identity back to this Buzz Williams team. I know I've said it already, but again, just so impressed with Colorado and their ability to not play the scoreboard. They've played hard this entire second half, no matter what the lead has been.
And this will tell you all you need to know about the A&M offensive struggles. That's the first field goal of the game for Wade Taylor.
Yeah, a guy we highlighted out of the gates, and really talented sophomore, got off to a extremely hot start in their first couple of games. Just unable to really find a rhythm here at the Myrtle Beach Invitational. I did think early on his decision-making was better in this game than it was the last game. And that's something when you're a scoring point guard, you got to have to learn, how do I balance being an aggressive scorer and being a primary scoring option that my coach and team needs me to be, while also getting the offense set and others involved.
Now 25 for KJ Simpson. His previous career high was 23. That came last week against Tennessee. Simpson with 26. Tad Boyle told us he's wired to score. Now, to take his game to the next level, he has to add the ability to run a team. How do you think he's done in that department?
I think he's done an outstanding job and passed the test. I mean, he is a big reason why they found so many open looks. And penetration kills, man. I mean, that's the thing. If you can penetrate a defense and force rotations, then you got a chance. And Simpson has been phenomenal at that.
And listen, there are a lot of good 1-2 punches in the Pac-12 and nationally. But KJ Simpson and Tristan Da Silva, you get them both going at top speed. That's a pretty good dynamic duo that Tad Boyle's got in Boulder. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by visitmyrtlebeach.com. Find where you belong at the beach. And by Dollar General. Save time, save money every day. Invitational, Colorado cruising, led by a career day from KJ Simpson. Dane Bradshaw, one thing we know about Tad Boyle, he knows how to recruit and develop lead guards like Simpson.
He does, and that balance we talked about of being able to run a team but also being a scoring point guard. And when you think about the history of those guys, when you look at Spencer Dinwiddie Derek White, McKinley Wright. I mean, you got some guys that KJ Simpson can look up to and say, hey, coach is right. Whatever he's telling me is the same thing he told Spencer Dinwiddie and these other guys. And they have either gone to or are at everywhere KJ Simpson wants to be. And so some great role models and a track record there with the Colorado program.
Silva knocks down both free throws. Now some token pressure from the Buffaloes. Just to try to slow things down, take as much time off the clock, and get out of here to enjoy a Saturday off in Myrtle Beach before a final game Sunday.
Well, those can be the worst when you're a team. I remember being at the Maui Invitational under Buzz Peterson at Tennessee, and we won our first game, but then the next one we got crushed by Texas. And the next day was a day off, and it's not like you can just walk around the hotel smiling in a good mood or doing cannonballs at the pool or any of that stuff. I mean, you got to kind of, act like you're still mad and sad about the game. And so those days off can be pretty long if you're the loser of 2 in a row.
Oh, you ain't kidding. If you're talking about being down in the dumps in Maui,
yeah.
Normally I would say cry me a river, Dane Bradshaw, but hey, that's the competitive side of things. All of these kids, yourself included when you played, all you want to do is win.
Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out, all right, what pool is coach at so we can go to the other one and actually have fun, and he doesn't see us.
Simpson. Depending on how the rest of the stars of the Pac-12 do, he might be in line for another Pac-12 Player of the Week.
Good handle.
Yeah, ball on a string, smooth jumper. That one off to the left. Subs are ready to come in, and then you would anticipate that Tad Boyle would empty the bench in the final minute or so. Dexter Dennis looks at his hands and says, well, I didn't mean for it to go out the window, but I'll take the points anyway. Under 2 to go. It's been all Colorado. 95-71. Looking to put triple digits on a Buzz Williams coach team.
To draw some synergy here, if you're an A&M fan and you're looking at this Colorado team, Colorado's been in a similar situation. I mean, we asked Coach Boyle, what was one of the most pleasant surprises he's had of this team, and he said how they responded to the benching initially. And that's after that Grambling State loss. And that's the guy right there that has responded and not looked back. Simpson is a star.
His 6th steal and his 30th point, capping off a career day for KJ Simpson. The exclamation point coming on that theft and pick 6.
Yeah, this guy knew he had a 30-piece in his windshield. He said, I got to get this before the subs come in.
Nice touch from Hefner. Well, the 54 points they scored in the first half was a tournament record here in Myrtle Beach. And now they're at 99, and that too is the most points scored in any Myrtle Beach Invitational game so far.
Looking at some stats, Rich. I mean, how surprising this is not only the score, but how well Colorado has shot the ball. I mean, there's been, it's a small sample size, but it's not like they had just been shooting the cover off of it. I mean, 29% from 3 coming into the day, 15 of 31 on the day. And so be curious to see if they can keep that stroke going with this team effort they've shown.
And the Buffaloes, you hear the faithful cheering them on behind their bench. They're psyched to see that triple digit. 100 points for the Colorado Buffaloes. How about that? Ralphie's excited somewhere in Boulder right now. Well, Colorado will finish up here on Sunday in the consolation bracket. Next week after Thanksgiving, they take on Yale in a game that will mean a lot to one person in particular, that being Jalen Gabadon, the grad transfer from the Yale Bulldogs. After that, it's a quick turnaround because Pac-12 play begins for them on December 1st. They're home against Arizona State, and then Sunday, December 4th, they're on the road against the Washington Huskies and Mike Hopkins.
Another one for
Ethan Wright.
Oh my gosh, everything's going in for the Buffaloes.
Puts a bow on it, his 5th three-pointer of the afternoon, 15 points for Ethan Wright. And that'll do it. 103-75 is your final score. Colorado takes down another AP top 25 opponent in the span of a week. They beat number 11 Tennessee.